Yes, it's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Persons under 18 will not be admitted.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another kick-ass episode of Still Token With. Yeah, I'm me. You know who I am by now. If you don't, well, I'm sorry. That's just kind of the way it goes. I'm super excited about tonight. We've known this gentleman literally since we started in the industry of
2017.
What we do.
2017.
There's the fucking voice in my head already.
That's right. I even remember where we first met him.
Oh, I bet you do. I bet you do.
And it was Hanover.
You're right. It was in a fucking snowstorm. But anyway, this gentleman has done literally everything. Literally everything. He even sat down with the Grim Reaper and smoked a joint. We'll talk about that. But before we get to the guest, let me welcome the man who brings flash to flashy, Mr. Jeffrey Mark.
Yeah, I'm all excited to be here today. Anytime I get to geek out with people, I'm having a good time. And like you said, our guest today has like 37 fingers and 47 pots. I don't even know where to begin, but we're going to get to all of it. Jeff?
Hey, I'm stuck in the woods again. I can't get out. I just can't get out. No, I'm excited. We've had plenty of conversations, hanging out with this guy. Sometimes he's fun, sometimes not so much. It depends on the day and how he's feeling. Honestly, I think it's the color of whichever freaking Aloha shirt he happens to have on. That's just my personal opinion, but let's bring him right in. Mr. Gary Summers.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Welcome. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great. Just working and rocking and rolling like usual.
Very nice. Very nice.
I don't have 20 projects going. I have 30, So.
Right. So you excited about this weekend's upcoming show?
This weekend, we have the Northeast Comic Con and Collectibles Extravaganza, the beginning of our 40th season of Collectibles Extravaganzas. Goes all the way back to 1985. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. We got 100+ vendors. We got really great guests. We got artists, cosplay, entertainment, weirdos like you, me, and Jeff. There, we're all like we are the show because people come to meet us, and we have a lot of fun with the people there. It's a different kind of Comic-Con. It's not your giant stadium show.
Right.
It's a hotel that somebody said was like being in Hobbit land, because there's you can't even explain it, but there's greenery. It looks like whatever Jeff's background is right there. Looks like the lobby and the hotel courtyard. And in that courtyard, you get to see interviews with guests like Barry Bostwick and Alan Ruck and Kat Cressida and Mark Rolston and Christine DeBelle and Roy Thomas, and live entertainment with the anime cosplay, dance play, Idol Project and Sandy Netburn, and
Sandy.
lots of great fun stuff. Karaoke with Cowboy Mock Bell. Just like a lot of you pay your admission, you get free parking. We still want to give you your money's worth, more than that, and so we expect it should be guaranteed not boring. And
I was waiting for that. And folks, Jeff and I have done this show since 2018, right, Jeff? So
when we
2018,
started,
at the Regency in Boxborough.
Yep.
And the beauty of that hotel that I like is there's a freaking swimming pool right there in the courtyard. So you literally can jump in the pool and watch the entertainment.
Yeah.
All right,
You
that's
could
it.
have filmed Jurassic Park in that courtyard.
I'm coming next year. That's all. You've already talked me into it.
It's
I'm
a beautiful place.
Flying in from Palm Springs next year. I will be there.
It's twice a year. We do it the second week of March, and we do it Thanksgiving. And at Thanksgiving, a lot of people go to their relatives, but there's a lot of people like us who really don't want to go to the relatives or have the opportunity to go to relatives or family. But this is not just a good excuse. We are now a family that has our Thanksgiving together, laughing, wheeling and dealing. And in the case of most of the people at the show, getting baked in some manner and partying until late at night. And that's sort of the two parts of our show. There's the after hours, which is very social. And you guys know you're part of that social scene. I work my butt off to make everybody happy all day. I go home. So I don't mind. I think that I can trust Ron and you guys to do a wonderful experience for all the guests. The hotel's sold out. It always is. And it's all us. It's all our people. So it's a very cool scene.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I was going to say, like not like some of the bigger cons where you have people from out of town in the hotel and this and that. This hotel is sold out, and it's everybody that's in the convention.
The celebrity guests all go to the bar after the show and hang out with everybody, and it's a very cool.
It's a very intimate show.
Thank you. I mean, the idea of the show was to merge many different niches into one bite-sized event that could be cost-effective for families and for, vendors and everything else. But also, I'm not trying to compete with all the big shows, trying to do, we've got the biggest star on the planet this week. Oh, good for you. I got people I like and I want to meet, so.
Right.
You paid $75,000 to have that big star at your show. So
no, that was $75,000 for the first hour. You see,
right?
It's just outrageous. But anyway, good for them.
Yeah, exactly. Good for them.
Right.
I did that in the 1990s. In 1990, when we did the Lost in Space cast reunion at the Bayside Expo Center, we drew about 20,000 people. It was like only $8 to get in, but in American money now, that's about $3 million, or something. I don't know. But the difference is that was huge for our generation. Like, it was only the 25th anniversary of the show. So wow, now it's been, 60. So,
Do it again. Bill Mooney is still with us, and Angie
Yeah.
Cartwright and Marta Kristen. I know them all, and they're all still here.
I do too. I know them all. I love doing it. I did it in 1995, did it again in I did 90, 95, and then we produced the Return to Earth celebration in Hollywood in 1998, which was the last full cast reunion. And then we got a partial cast after Jonathan passed. My friend built the chariot. You remember the chariot, guys? The guy who lost the space chariot? We had it. We had a friend of mine built one. He runs an elevator company. He actually built one. We had it at the show with the cast. Oh, that was fabulous, But he sold it to the ventriloquist, Jeff Dunham.
Ah,
Very cool.
Another Jeff. Now we got 3 we're talking about.
Yeah, well,
well, we'll just call him Geo.
Yeah.
Geo. So, yeah, wow.
So yeah, so much to say, so much to do.
Let me ask about something other than this convention, which I'm sure we'll get back to towards the end of the program.
Anything you want.
You appraise things on Antiques Roadshow. I find that fascinating. And this is a geeky question, but it's a question I've actually been asked by fans of mine, and I didn't know the answer about that show. People show up with like, ooh, here's a 7-foot alarm clock that weighs 2,000 pounds. Now, they don't just show up out of the blue that way. When it's something, so some of this has to be coordinated, right? I mean, they don't just show up at the door, go, hi, I'm here.
So do you want to know the story?
Yes, sir.
All right. So here's the reality of it. When the show started in 1996, they had their first taping. It was very hush hush. The only appraisers they had were people from like Sotheby's and Christie's. They knew the price of every $1 million item, but they didn't know anything under $1,000. Under 100, ooh, a record album, a toy, $1. No, they had no idea. So when they were going to tape their first shows, a friend who was at that taping suggested me. Because I was doing psychic appraisals on radio where people could call in and I could tell them what their stuff was worth without even seeing it. So, and I'm right on when it comes to that. I got powers. But anyway, that's not
I believe you.
So when Roadshow started, the original executive producer's model was, let's be surprised. Let's let them come in with anything. Everybody that comes through the door by this time, we will see. There were 55 appraisers. No, there was 80 appraisers in the room in all the different niches. And 55 segments were being filmed. So we didn't all get on TV every time.
Right.
So in the beginning, we were getting like 8,000 people the first year. Maybe that was like the tops, maybe 8,000. And we would go for about 8 hours. By the third season, after people saw it, we were getting 25 to 30,000 people. When we did Los Angeles, we shut down downtown Los Angeles. The lines were going everywhere. We stood up on the roof at Tampa, me and a couple of the other appraisers in Tampa, and we saw the line stretch all the way out over a bridge onto an island and wrap in a big circle. And we let anything come in. A guy would go down the street, see a box of trash on the sidewalk, put it in his car, and come to Roadshow. And we would see him and tell him what his box of trash was. So we had people come in with entire bedroom sets, including the mattress. I mean, and then they say to him, well, that's about $100 for the whole thing. Yeah, it's only going for about $25 a cord these days. So, you could probably sell it as firewood. So, but what would happen is the most amazing things would come in. And this is right at the beginning of Fleabay. Before Fleabay became everything that it is, In the beginning, 1997 to 2000, Fleabay was just Beanie Babies, Magic the Gathering cards, stolen computer parts, things like that. And you couldn't just look up anything and see what its price was. So nobody knew. We experts knew because we bought and sold the stuff, and they needed that knowledge that comes from being on the street. Well, Roadshow PBS needed that knowledge. They needed us to make good television. So after about 5 years, the original executive producer moved on. She was doing that ballroom dancing show on there, which became huge. And they had a new executive producer come in. Well, she changed things a lot. And I managed to last another 5 years, 6 years with her before I left. But she changed the whole show to now, all the way to now. You don't get on the show at all. You don't even get into the venue unless you send a picture in. You send a picture in and you say, I know nothing, and then they send the pictures off to the appraisers, and the appraisers pick the things that they think would make interesting storytelling. So it's so limited, and everybody knows what they have already. And now you watch somebody go, oh, yes, it's a very rare antique and it's worth $1 million. They go, oh, well, I knew that, but can't you tell me anything I don't know? And it's like, So I quit when Stump the Appraiser became the game.
Gotcha.
Okay.
What a great story.
Thank you.
Right.
So the reason I wore Hawaiian shirts on the show was just a fluke, just a total fluke. I wore Hawaiian shirts all the time anyway, you guys know, and I always have. So when I got the documents from Antiques Roadshow to come to the first taping, they said to wear your best business dress.
Well,
I wore a really nice Hawaiian shirt, brand new orange Chuck Taylors in bright glow orange. And I show up and everybody else is in a suit. The women are dressed like they're going to the opera. I mean, it was just insane. So I go up to the executive producer and I say to her, would you like me to wear a sport coat so I look like I fit in? Because I'm happy. She goes, no, honey, you're fine. Just go. You're not going to make it on TV. Just go. Just do the appraises, have fun, see what comes in. So the first thing that comes in for me that I loved, and I said this should be on TV, was an oil painting by Frank Zappa.
ooh,
Now, the story goes that the woman shows up with this painting, and at the entrance, they give you a ticket saying which department to go to. And they gave her a paintings department ticket. She goes to the paintings department, and the woman at the paintings department goes, let me see. No, dear, I see no Zappa under Old Masters. Oh, no, he's modern. Oh, no, dear, I see no Zappa under Modern Masters. Oh, no, he's a musician. Oh, celebrity art. Well, it might be worth something, but maybe $100. So she goes walking away, thinks she has a $100 painting. Just so happens the lighting guy, Chaz, had been on the road with Zappa. So he goes, you should go show that to the hippie over there. So she goes up to me with this painting, and my jaw almost hit the ground because I saw Zappa's signature on it. And it's giant painting of an opera scene with a fat lady with the horns in the center. And it's just brilliant. And I just went, oh my, tell me the story. She dated Frank's roommate when Frank was going to junior college. And one day she's over at Frank's apartment, or their apartment, Frank and his roommate, and there's all these paintings. Frank said, you can have any one you want. That's the one she loved. So she took, this is in like late 50s, 57, 58, I can't remember, but so she has this painting she loves. This hangs on her wall. All of a sudden, she's watching Steve Allen one night on TV, like in 61 or 62. And here's Frank playing a bicycle with drumsticks and making noises.
Steve Allen show. Yeah, 61, 62.
So she thought Frank was out of his mind and took the painting and put it in her attic. So she never heard Freak Out. She never heard any of the mothers till she came to Roadshow. So I gave her a great appraisal. I said, $15,000 to $25,000, for insurance value. She flabbergasted. So before I went on TV to do it, I said to the producer, do you want me to put on a coat in case the appraisal works? Maybe it'll make it to TV. She goes, honey, just go have fun. It's not going to make it on TV. This is your first time. You haven't done this before. It'll be fine. I went and just did it. Just did the Gary show. And, one take, of course, because I had nothing to fear. It just ripped right through it. And the next morning in the hotel lobby, on the counter is USA Today.
Yeah.
And on the front cover is a full color picture of me with the Zappa painting in my Hawaiian shirt with the headline, "We're only in it for the money." And she comes running up to me and says, "You wear those shirts every time, honey." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." So that episode or that segment got shown in a zillion times in a zillion different iterations. They keep packaging them up, but that's the only one that the new executive producer will run of me. She hates me so much, but that's, most people don't even know this. You want the real story is we never get paid. Appraisers don't get paid. Appraisers have to pay their own way to get to the cities.
Wow.
They get nothing, and there's no guarantee you'll get on TV. So I did 80 cities over 13 seasons, costing me at least $1,000 an episode. So
yeah, that's a lot of money.
But it was worth it. I had a good time.
Right. You've always had a love for that type of stuff, correct?
Oh, yeah. I started when I was 8.
I was going to say, I'm going to go all the way back to when I was 2.
Yeah.
In 1974, you had your own record store and music memorabilia store. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. I had a career in rock and roll and buying and selling stuff.
So it's just been a passion.
My dad taught me when I was 8 that you can buy something for $1 and sell it for $100 if you have an education, if you know the stuff. So he used to be a traveling salesman. He'd come home with a little cigar box full of campaign buttons. I'm like, what are these? He taught me all about politics, taught me all about economics, taught me all about buying and selling antiques and collectibles through this. And just an amazing thing. So when I was 8, I started having my own yard sales because he said, you want new toys? Go sell the ones you're not playing with. So I just would start right there. I take a loss on every sale, but I make it up in volume.
Yeah. Good point.
I'm still at it,
Right. But you have many loves from the collectibles and the memorabilia to writing, to music, to actually singing and playing. Let's go fast forward to, what was it, last year that it came out?
Well, you talking about Beasties?
I'm talking about Beasties.
So I wrote Beasties, a sci-fi rock opera, in 2017, January of 2017. I came out of a fit of depression. And again, depression's not bad. It's just something people go through. And I went through it a lot. But when Trump won the first election and was about to be inaugurated, I was in a state of depression. I'm not this time because I knew what was going to happen. So, hell would come freeze over. So not the point. But 8 years ago, I wrote Beasties. I wrote 3 novels and 17 songs, packaged them all together into a stage show in 1 week. Now, I didn't know whether it was good or bad. It flowed out of me. It tells the story of me. Well, I guess it's multiple me's. The me that, so it's autobiographical, but from different perspectives. The
Right.
concept of the story is you're going to see or hear a 2-hour time period from the perspective of many different people. And any 2-hour time period, like even right now, we are all experiencing this from different perspectives. They're hearing,
Sure.
they're speaking, there's learning, there's so many different things. Some people, zone, and some people are zoned in. It's just like way reality is. So I wrote it first book. One book is from the perspective of a stage manager. He finally gets a gig. All right, let's start with voice. The story is a rock and roll guy who's been on the circuit for 20 years finally gets a hit record. And a promoter says, I love you. I'm going to put on a free concert for you in Central Park. And 250,000 people show up. It's huge. This concert is the event. What the guy doesn't know is he sold a sponsorship to an evil corporate politician who happens to be running for CEO of Earth. And nobody is running against him because it doesn't exist. So the universe has been concentrating on planet Earth for a long time because this bacteria that happens to be existing on this Earth, meaning these humans that are evil, that are narcissists, that are greedy, these beasties are killing the planet. Now, the universe is very concerned about the planet being killed off. We are the shining jewel of the universe. We are that great experiment that no one believes could be real, but here we exist and evolve and grow. And the universe and everything out there is watching us going, how the hell are they doing that? Wait a second, they're going to kill that planet. Well, the planet itself is just like a human cell. It knows how to kill off bacteria, but when a cancer hits a cell, the cell starts to die. Earth is being hit with a cancer right now, and it could be dying. So the universe decides, well, the only medicine we have is this impulse. We're going to send this impulse to Earth to save the planet. And this impulse comes from the universe. We don't know where impulses come from. Do you have any idea where the impulse comes from to be good or bad?
Nope.
It comes from the universe because it doesn't come from mom or dad because they would never do that. No, it comes from the universe. So this impulse is inside of everybody, or it affects everybody when it's in there. So the universe decides to send an impulse to save the planet. And this impulse ends up, it's an alien inside of the stage manager who is like a former rock singer who, once you get to a certain stage, you're no longer wanting to go out and beat the bushes. You're a stage manager, still in the biz, still doing it. And he's now infested with an alien impulse. So as the concert starts, he takes over control of the show. And then in the middle of the show, the evil corporate politician by the name of Dick Trader, he's a dick and a traitor. Dick Trader breaks in and tries to take over the show, of which the conflict between Dick Trader and Impulse is the conflict of the show. But Voice, the lead singer who has this hit record, it will maintain the flow. So there's a lot of psychic telepathic stuff. And we performed this live, and we did the storytelling on video screens with visuals. And we're working to get it to Broadway to save the planet.
Were there mushrooms involved?
Were there mushrooms involved?
I'm just
No.
curious.
No, I'm
No.
just amazed that you were, Gary, I'm just amazed that you were able to weave such an intricate story, not once ever leaning on politics. That was just amazing to me how you did that without involving politics. Brought my hat. If I took my hat off, my hat would be off to you. A real question.
You can read the books. You can listen to the music. It's all on that internet-y thing. Beasties Rock Opera.
So real quick for all our viewers and listeners later on, check the show notes up above or down below because there are links to all of this there.
So
Right.
when one writes an opera, so for those of you who don't like what's the difference between a musical and opera? An opera is almost everything is sung, even just plain old dialogue.
There's no
is sung.
dialogue. It's
Right.
all
Right. So you write the lyrics, you write the music. Did you also orchestrate the songs? Like who plays what?
good point. Yeah, so I wrote the basics of the music. My orchestrator and partner and arranger is a guy named Bill Holloman. Bill Holloman does arranging and orchestration for Bruce Springsteen and for Nile Rodgers and other people. So
Yeah, I know who Bill is.
I'm lucky because Bill and I play together in other gigs. And when I went to him with this, I went to him with very raw tapes, very raw. I went in the studio and I recorded me playing everything. And then I gave them to him and he did the orchestration. We got great vocalists. The guy who sang Eye of the Tiger, Dave Bickler, is one of my vocalists. So, it's got Chris Farlow, who did Out of Time, who sings with Jimmy Page and Van Morrison and the Stones. He's on it. And Barrence Whitfield, one of the greatest soul singers of all, is the lead singer in it. He plays the lead character, an African-American man. Now, this is like even funnier and weirder. I'm trying to get it to Broadway, right? Dig it or to anywhere. Opera, right? There's a place for rock operas. Jesus Christ Superstar, Hair.
Yep.
I mean, there's a place, but the obstacle I'm up against is I'm 72. Barrence is 70. Bickler's 70. Chris Farlow's 83. Mock Bell 70. So we're a bunch of old guys. We're out there and it's just very difficult because we've reached that ageism issue where, oh gosh, if you guys were just 24, we'd be loving this, it's like, huh? But anyway, I get over it. We just keep rocking and rolling. But
Yes,
now I'm
I
getting
can see that.
more money. Hint, hint.
Who staged this, or is it done like a concert? You staged.
I produced and staged it. So in this first event iteration we did 16 of the songs. 2 of the songs still are in production. So we did 16 songs. We had video for everything that did the storytelling of what the song said with lyrics. So that each one was like a comic book. You were inside of a graphic novel. It was
Gotcha.
a 3-dimensional live musical graphic novel. And it worked. Everybody that saw it, the reviews were wonderful, but everybody that saw it said that this first iteration, I got it across. That is a story, and they need to know more about the story. So the next step is we need to raise more money, align with a great director. I don't want somebody who's just going to turn it into their story. We want a director who can help us save the planet. So we're looking for money. We're looking for a director so we can build the stage direction in, and then, we'll tour it first. I've been in the business a long time, so I know how to tour. I know how to do all that. I've got a great band. It's a live band on stage. In fact, the guitar player, Cliff Goodwin, played with Joe Cocker for 20 years.
Wow.
Played with Robert Palmer before that. So,
How many pieces in the band?
just a 3-piece band.
So guitar, bass, and drums.
Guitar, bass, and drums, and we have a bed. We have an orchestrated bed, which is keyboards, backup vocals, percussion, other guitars, things like that. But the guitar, bass, and drums is like the Who. It's live and it's loud.
Now, could it be made into a film version of it, or it just wouldn't be as you'd lose the justice of it?
No. We figure somebody like Ron Howard, he'd figure out how to do that.
Right.
Okay.
You
I
aim
mean,
high.
if you all get, if you,
Not
yeah,
my
if you all-
job. My
yeah.
job is to build this base. And then, Jeff, can you introduce us to somebody who can make that happen?
Yes, as a matter of fact. Or do you mean the other Jeff?
No, either one. I'm open.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
I
just sit
think,
here and look
yeah,
at it.
because it sounds to me like what you're butting heads against is your age. So if you can do a little bit of touring, but turn this thing into a film, that's
Oh,
how I'm seeing it.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it could be like just out of shits and giggles because of who I am and who I know. I pitched Miley Cyrus to do the female lead, and she didn't say no. So she's just doing something else right now. So
Right.
So I mean, I believe that as soon as I find a director, as soon as I find money, find a director, it's going to be easy to cast it for Broadway. I have a touring. It's just like any Broadway show or any other show. It tours. You got an A and a B cast that are touring. You got your Broadway cast. You got your West End cast. You send one cast to Australia. Somebody tours Asia. It ain't me, babe. I'm just.
Gary, I got to encourage you to think big. You're thinking way too small here.
I know. The universe will provide.
That is so very
Beasties
cool.
now playing on the moon.
Yeah.
Or way beyond, actually.
Well, I was going
Right?
to say that, but you got to start somewhere, right?
Where does the impulse come from? If anybody can answer me, that would be just amazing. I mean, I this philosophical conversation of trying to find out where does an impulse come from? Where does anybody deep inside them go, oh, I think I'm just going to go shoot that guy? Where does this impulse come from?
Right.
Here's the right answer, the universe, because everything is energy.
Correct.
Yep.
But how do you explain it?
Why
think I'm
explain
nuts.
it?
Oh, they'll add religion to it. Oh, my God does it for me. Oh, does he? Really? So it's kind of like, where's it come from? I love the energy.
Yeah, it is. It's all
And
energy.
and you're full of energy. I've got to say, I do have to say one thing, on a serious note. I'm really glad to see you back to being Gary again.
Hey, I'm doing pretty good for a dead guy.
Right. And for the folks watching and listening, it was
year and a half ago.
Yeah, at the end of 2023, right?
Yep. A week before the Comic-Con.
A week before the November show. We show up at the November show and it's all hush hush. And like I've said, we've known Gary and everybody affiliated with this show since we started. So we're part of their family. And one of Gary's heads pulled me aside and said, Gary had a heart attack. And I said, are you fucking serious? And believe it or not,
nobody knew I had a heart. That was what really the problem.
Well, yeah, I think that's what shocked me the most. But the shock was that Saturday night. So the show is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That Saturday night, this MF shows up at the fucking show.
I'd been dead. I'm back. I owed somebody money. I don't die and leave somebody I owe money. That would not be cool.
But I am glad to see that you're back to the full swing of things. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Logistically, how hard it is to do an event like this. I mean, I've been producing events since 1971. And for those of you who can do math, good luck. But I mean, I've somehow put together a brain that can logistically manage it. Many people can't. So I'm not really good at other things, like making podcasts, but I can sure make the magic happen live and in person. So
I also think it takes that team you have too. Without a team,
you're the best. I'm telling you, are so right. I could not do it without, everybody, Bob and Christy and Ronnie and Rob and the whole team that makes my show go. I could die and the show will still happen. Oh wait, I did do that.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta fly me in for Thanksgiving. I want to be a part of this. I really do.
Ask those guys to pay for it. I'm in.
There's the Gary I know.
Yeah. Right. I was just gonna say, there he is. Yep, he's back 100%.
I wanted to ask you something. I came across this thing, and I don't know if it's true or not, but Did you get Styx their first major gig?
Yeah.
You did.
You've heard of them?
Of course.
Styx?
Yeah. So the story goes, in 1972, I got hired to run a series of concerts at the Aragon Ballroom in 1973. So
Cool.
my concerts were going to begin right in March, you know. So I'm booking acts that I knew. I was working with this guy Irv Azoff, who had this band REO Speedwagon nobody had ever heard of, and we were working with them a little bit. Hartsfield was a country rock Grateful Dead type of band. Siegel Schwall, I had a couple of blues guys I was working with, and I was just like 20 years old and passing out flyers and just hustling. And I got introduced to the Aragon, got hired to do the gig and book bands. So I booked acts that I knew, like Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes, Bob Seger, Tim Buckley, Freddie King, and I booked Richie Havens, and I was also, that doesn't pay the bills, I was at flea markets every weekend, and this is middle of winter. I'm still at flea markets, you know. I think it opened up 1st of March, and I'm out there on a Sunday, and this band is playing on a hay wagon at the flea market in Elgin, Illinois, and they did a half an hour. It was freaking cold. I don't know how they did it. But at the end, the last song they did was this song, Lady. And I go up to him. I says, man, that's a really catchy song. You know, I think that could be a hit. Oh, they go, oh, really? Thanks. I says, you know, I'm booking a series of shows at the Aragon. Would you like to play? Oh, yeah, we'd love to. So I negotiated $150 for them to be an opening act for, no, I think it was $100 be opening act for Richie Havens. They don't go together. You know, how, just like, but luck be having it. I get a call from the agent who who sold me Ted Nugent and Bob Seger. He goes, "Oh man, my friend's band's on tour in the States, and they need that whatever Tuesday or Wednesday night. Can you put them on with Richie Havens?" And I go, "Yeah, okay." So for $500, I got Genesis with Peter Gabriel, and so the show was Raul Hardman band open, then Styx, then Genesis, and then Richie Havens. So that day, Styx's made a record deal with Wood Nickel Records, and literally 3 months later, Lady came out. No, 2 months. 2 months later, Lady came out, and I was their booking agent at the time, and I booked them on a show with opening up for ZZ Top at Hammond Civic Auditorium. It was ZZ Top, Mahogany Rush, and Styx as the opening act. And so I'm down there with them, and I'm at Beaver Productions, and they managed at the time ZZ Top. They said, "Man, this Styx band's great. We love them. We're taking them." I went, "What?" He goes, "Yep, thanks very much." And I never heard from Styx again.
Wow.
But that was all right. I mean, at that time I had Head East and I had Star Castle and I had a whole bunch of bands. Who cares? You know, they turned out okay.
Yeah, they turned out.
You think?
Yeah, they turned out all right.
They're still touring.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
all the originals, but they are still
No.
touring.
Yeah, actually, we saw Dennis DeYoung, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, in Plymouth at Memorial Hall.
Hall. Yeah. Yeah.
He won't
And I'll tell
remember.
you,
He'll remember the show. He'll remember that show, Genesis Richie Havens show, for a fact. They talk about that show. They don't remember me.
I don't think many people remember any of us as we get older.
I'm a blur.
They go, I remember you from somewhere, and I go, yeah.
I'm the blur. Everyone says you remind me of that guy. Yeah, I'm that guy.
Why the fuck do you think I wear sequins? So that I get recognized.
I don't want. I'm telling you that when I was at the peak of roadshow fame, I couldn't go to a restaurant without people coming up to the table and asking to have their picture taken or to ask me what the stuff that they had at home was worth. I couldn't go to parties. I couldn't go to, anywhere socially because It would be like, if you were a doctor and you got invited to a party, it's so they can all ask you what ailments, doctor, excuse me, I have this thing on my back. I'd go to places, they go, Gary, I have this thing in my attic. And so it was just like became, wah! But anyway. I love it. I love stuff.
I had a day.
love helping people.
Yeah, a 30-second story. I got all my carpets in this house cleaned yesterday. I had to leave for 5 hours. And there's a wonderful place out here called Pinocchio's. Great brunches outdoors. Perfect weather, 75 degrees, not a breeze, nothing was perfect. I thought, no show business today. I'm just going to go and have a Jeff day. I got sat all in a corner and I had company the entire time I was sitting there, people coming over, even if they don't know, oh, you're that guy. I get that a lot, by the way. You're that guy. Like my name is that guy. So I get it. But you know what? I'm a Hamasaurus and I love it.
Excellent.
Wear more Hawaiian shirts when you do that. Nobody will bother you.
Nobody will bother me. Who the fuck wants that?
Well, see, I'm just antisocial. So
No, not really. You just
no, I
to
wouldn't
have
say that.
like to have
totally.
Gary time.
Oh no, I'm totally antisocial. If I could produce shows without having to be there, I probably would do it. Just to.
I beg to differ with that because I think you really enjoy setting up your booth.
Oh no, I do that. I enjoy that.
So you have to be at the show no matter what.
Well, and just saying, it's the
Right.
part of the show that I enjoy is learning more about stuff and people, and I love watching cues, how people move and where they're walking, and making sure that the flow is perfect and that there's a great vibe. And I'm looking at how does every little aspect of this giant circus function properly. I have a 99.9% happiness factor. I mean, a baby might be crying, but that's not my fault. I can't do that. But everything else, I believe is a part of my job is to make sure that flow, that vibe. I mean, think about it. I take an empty building, I make it a circus, and when we're done, it's gone the next day. Poof.
That's why you're bringing the clowns in like us.
Right?
Or more fun.
I get it.
Hey, who put me in this clown car anyway?
Nobody. I reached out. You agreed.
All right. So, Gary, I have about a dozen books that were very expensive about Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz and their careers that I would love to repurpose for money. So tune in on me, and I'm not making fun because I believe that's why I'm asking.
Yep.
What do you think that would be worth? Is it worth
they
selling, or should I donate?
Autographed by Lucy?
No, but I'll autograph him because I'm well known in the Lucy world.
Yeah, unfortunately, the popularity of those characters of that time period is on the wane. I call it the nostalgia curve. Everything's really goes in popularity as you age to the point where you want to buy back your youth. But then all of a sudden you start aging, and now your youth is a long time ago and you don't need all this crap sitting around your house. So at this point, the generation that loved Lucy is aging and the stuff is coming out of the attics. There's no more people buying it. I have a Lucy autographed by Lucy, Groucho, and Harpo, all on the same piece of paper from Groucho's. So great, but nobody wants it.
Oh, I'll send it to me.
If you'll pay the price. It's for sale.
No, I have Miss Ball's autograph. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's cool. But you have it with Groucho and Harpo, huh?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But I am going to be having lunch with Harpo's son next week. So Billy Marks.
Billy?
Harpo's son. Billy Arthur was Groucho's son. I knew him from the Friars Club.
Oh,
but Billy lives out here in the desert, and we're going to have lunch next week.
Nice, wonderful. He doesn't know me, but give him my best.
No, I will.
Good.
I will. I will. So in other words, I should donate this to a library because nobody wants it.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Good point. And get a tax deductible little receipt.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're right on. I'm downsizing all the stuff I have because, I've written the definitive book about Lucille Ball's television career. Now I'm finishing her whole career in a book. I don't need other people's input anymore. I have my own. So
That's correct. No, and your perspective is important now to get out, and all the other people's perspective is time for other people to be able to read it.
What's the price? Matthew wants to know.
Yeah.
for the books, Matthew, or for his autograph?
The price or his autograph, man?
Oh, he wants the price of the Harpo Lucy Groucho. It's
Yeah,
like
he said
$800 for the piece. It's all framed with 3 pictures, and it's a piece of stationery from Groucho's You Bet Your Life, signed by all 3 of them.
And Malusia books I would sell for 150 plus shipping.
There you go. You want them all?
He's thinking it.
He's
He's thinking it
yeah.
over.
He's thinking it over. Well,
Wow.
no, we don't have time for that.
He says, Mark
So,
said he'll buy it. We'll see what happens.
There was a quote that said, "You personally know the value of over 100,000 useless items."
That's my
Give me-
specialty.
Give me an example of what a useless item would be that has a value.
You.
Toys,
Now.
Sorry.
toys that came inside cereal boxes in the 1950s.
Okay.
How useful is that? See, useless is anything you can't sit in or eat off of or eat. There's things like that. So
I have my original Gumby and Pokey dolls, and I have my original Slinky
good.
and my original Weelo.
Oh,
Are those
good.
things? Are those things worth anything?
I have a Batman Weelo that with the bat signal on it from '66, which I'm asking $25 for. So if yours is a bat on it, then it's probably worth $25. If it's just a generic one with the hypnosis one, ooh, I'm hypnotized. It's
Hell,
probably
that's what a box of cereal costs now.
5 or 8. What? Yeah, right. You can get it for the price of cereal.
All right. Sold. So you have the Batman Weelo.
Uh-huh.
Bring it to the show this weekend for $25. I will buy that.
Done deal.
My,
Hey,
my daughter collects Batman stuff.
Excellent.
All right. Since we're bringing up Batman,
Here
talk
we
a
go.
little bit about comic books just to satisfy my geeky
Sure.
comic book.
Go ahead.
soul.
We got 10 minutes left. Go ahead. Geek out with your comic books.
Well, as I told you before we got started, I'm an expert on Silver Age DC. I still read them every single day. I've been reading them since I was 2 years old. What is your favorite publisher and era? What comic books speak to Gary's soul?
That's a tough one. I mean, I grew up on the Superman, Superboy, Jimmy Olsen series, but it didn't strike me. It was fantasy. It had nothing to do with I didn't buy into it. When the Batman TV show came on, I became a Batman fan. Adam West's voice was the voice I heard when I read the Batman comics. I still can't not hear his voice when I read his words. So I guess the TV show convinced me that Batman was worthy, I guess. But then I got into rock and roll. And then many, many years later, actually 40 years ago this month, 40 years ago this month, somebody gave me the phone number for Adam West's booking agent because I was trying to do my collectibles extravaganza and bring in a celebrity guest. And the weirdest thing happened. Adam West answered the phone. He had given me Adam West's home phone number. And Adam, and I, of course, there's the voice in my head. I knew it was him. What do you want? And I'm like, well, Mr. West, I was giving your number about booking you for a show. I'm not wearing the damn costume. And I went, oh, no, sir. No. What's it pay? I says, we'll pay for all of your transportation. I'll guarantee you a couple of $1,000. We'll pay for everything. You get to keep all the autograph money. I've never done this. This is not, we never charge for autographs. I just sign. I go, well, this is a $10 an autograph. You get all the money. Will I make any money? I hope so. You'll make at least $2,000. All right. So he comes, he flies out. First time meeting him, just like he's just Adam West. I mean, it was just like, oh my God. And here's, 12-year-old me going, or 14, 13, whatever I was. I'm like, oh yeah. So at the end of the first day, Adam never got up but once to go to the bathroom. And yes, how do we do? I said, Adam, you did 10 grand. You signed 1,000 autographs today. He goes, wow. Gary, can we do this every week?
I loved Adam. Adam and I had the same agent for a while, Fred Westbrook.
Oh, Fred. I introduced Fred to Adam through, Fred was a piece of work. I at the beginning, Andrew, do you know Andrew Goodwin?
Yeah.
So Andrew was Van Williams' agent at the time. And so I got a hold of Andrew because I was booking Van Williams from him. And I says, Adam needs an agent. Oh, so I introduced them, and then we put Fred on the road with him.
Fred was, there was nobody else like Fred.
No.
I mean, even how he pronounced his name, because it was spelled Wastbrock, but he pronounced it Westbrook because everybody got it wrong anyway. Exactly. But and we're gonna have Burt Ward on this show probably in May. So yeah. Well,
that was the last show that Adam did with me. So this was in 2017. I was moving from the Shriners Auditorium, guys, right? You remember Shriners? I was moving to Hanover to the mall, moving my show to a new venue. So I call Andrew. I says, Andrew, can you see if Adam would come? Adam had done the Shriners for me. It's a North Shore venue. This was a South Shore venue. So he had done maybe a year and a half before. And I call up Andrew saying, maybe Adam come and christen this new venue. And he says, no, Adam says he's not taking any gigs. I says, okay, just ask him, tell him it's me. I get a call back an hour later. Adam wants to do your show. I went, wow, I didn't know I had that good a clout. But he says he's only got one thing that he's never asked you for before, and he's insisting on it. I go, what? You have to bring Burt Ward. I went, what? He's always told me he doesn't want Burt there when he's there because all Burt does is talk about his damn dog food, and I go, oh, well, if that's what Adam wants, that's what Adam gets, whatever, So they came and we had a great weekend. Honest to God, it was just fabulous. Adam was we were playing pinball in the pinball machine. He drove the Batmobile, the real Batmobile. I mean, he was just like alive. We talked for an hour. I told him all about beasties. We were like having a great time. We were just like we had been for 35 years, And I said, so what are you going to do? He goes, I'm retiring. I go, no, really, what are you going to do? I'm going fishing. I go, and you're going fishing? He goes, yeah, I'm in the trout streams. I'm going to go fishing. I says, do you take a phone or cell with you or anything? He goes, no, don't want to be bothered. I says, what if something happens? Don't care. I says, cool, go have fun.
Right.
A month later, he was dead. And they called me and told me it was just like heartbreaking because he was so alive. And then he was gone.
Yeah.
How old was he when he passed?
Don't know. Over 80, I think.
Yeah, he was in his early 80s and looked great and such a lovely man. Such a lovely man.
He was so fit. He walked around. I mean, I remember many years ago when he was having some back trouble, we had to get a wheelchair for him for 1 or 2 shows, but he had the surgery and he was back. He was walking. He was doing everything.
And he fit in the costume almost to the end. I mean,
If he wanted to, but he wouldn't.
No. Gary, we have our fan out there. Our Matthew Fisher wants to know what's the most expensive item in your collection.
Oh my goodness. Well, I had the original prospectus to Disneyland. I just sold. I got 80,000 for that. I mean, I have some really nice original art from Lee Falk's Phantom and Mandrake the Magician that I just love. I have Disney stuff. I have rock and roll stuff. I mean, it's not about the value to me. It's about the value to me. I have so much stuff. I don't even, God, I should find somebody who could appraise this stuff for me.
Right. Maybe you could bring her on that what's that Antiques Roadshow thing.
No, I'm going to go on Antiques Roadkill.
There you go.
Right. I was going
Gary.
to say VH1 for what it's worth.
Gary, if you had to put a price on your collection, now obviously we're not inviting people to come rob you or anything, but what is all of the
keep his collection in his house?
It's worthless. It's absolutely worthless. My collection is not valuable. My collection is memories that I have. I mean, I got concert posters from shows I went to. I'm like everybody else. I stave my stupid ticket stubs, and then nobody's going to buy them from me. I got my record collection. Most of them are really played to death. I have all kinds of tchotchkes. I have my dad's paintings, which are priceless to me, and never be anything like them, So
Right.
The way I tell people about collecting is surround yourself with the things of your youth and you'll always feel young. So
absolutely.
I'm young forever.
Well said.
I like that.
Yeah. And just to touch on the value of things.
Yeah.
The value of something is only worth what somebody is willing to pay for it.
Well, no, there's many different values. When you
Right.
talk about the word value, it's a value. There's emotional value. There's decorative value. There's investment value. There's replacement value. There's liquidation value. There's fair market value. So when someone says, what's the value of this? First, I have to qualify. What do they really want to know? How much can they get for it? Here's $1. How much would it maybe sell for in an auction? Hopefully maybe $10 or $5,000, but that's just a speculative, imaginary potential. So qualifying the valuation is the key to being a good appraiser. I don't tell anybody the value until I find out what value they're looking to know.
Right.
My stuff's going to cost me $300 just to bring to the dump.
Well, that old brown wood that you have there is probably only worth $20 a cord now.
Too easy, not going there.
Right. So we are actually running over time.
Sorry, I just talked too much.
No,
we're
having a ball. We're having a ball.
I just got to watch the time because if I don't, Jeff down there, gets really hangry because dinner time is in about 15 minutes for him.
Well, get it wrapped up then, bro.
So, any last questions from you, Mr. Jeffrey Mark?
Yes.
Go ahead.
What do you do, Gary, on a daily basis to stay in touch with the energy in the universe that you're sending and receiving?
So I'm in the 3D business, downsizing, divorce, and death. So I'm all more or less a grief counselor, and I help people deal with that. So it's taken a huge amount of physical and mental and emotional change in my life to be able to accept the grief from people and help them cope. So I'm constantly having to be in touch with the universe and gain knowledge and share it. And so just being a conduit is part of accepting you're a conduit. You can deny it, you can accept it, or you can just ignore it and pretend it doesn't happen. But I accept my status, and and I hope you'll all read my books, because if you read the Beasties books, all 3 of them, you will gain knowledge about how the universe works and how all these things go together. And I hope that, musically and mentally, you can accept the conduit message that's being sent to you.
Excellent answer.
Excellent. So,
Wow.
Jeff.
All right. Yeah, I want to. We've never talked about it. I mean, we've known each other and chit chatted here and there. But have you ever had a pet?
I've had several pets. I've had probably 20 different cats. I had an Afghan hound for 12 years. He was like my best friend. I can't have pets now because it hurts too much when they pass, and none of them are going to live as long as me because I'm immortal. So it's really hard to deal with the grief. I can deal with other people's grief. The loss of humans, that's fine. I can't deal with loving a pet and having him die.
Get a rodent. They don't hurt as much.
Oh no! For me, it would. I'd bond with it. It'd be like, Oh, you mean for the ones that you feed the snakes? Oh, yeah,
Right, yeah.
Besides, you wear your hair like an Afghan, so you keep it with you.
Oh yeah. No, we looked alike.
I can see that.
No, I had brown hair. He had brown hair. I had a beard. He had a beard. He got the chicks. I didn't understand that. I think it was the way he sniffed butt, but I just couldn't do that.
Right. So, anyways, for all our viewers and listeners later on, make sure you check the show notes up above or down below. It'll take you anywhere you need to go to find out more about this amazing guest. But if you're in the New England area, and even if you're not, and you don't mind a little bit of a drive, head up to the Boxborough Regency this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for a guaranteed not boring kick-ass time.
March 7th, 8th, and 9th, in case you're in a different time zone.
Yeah, like if you're from Australia and you want to fucking fly here, be my guest. So,
Right. We will be in the house along with a whole ton of other fantastic people, artists, and
oh yeah, some great artists.
And I will be there in spirit.
He will.
I'll send you pictures.
You can always just put a picture of him in your booth, guys, and that way he's there.
Well, actually, I think we're gonna have the TV with us. We can just connect this YouTube feed right to the TV and just play this over and over and over.
Yeah, that'll annoy your neighbors.
Yeah, Gary will like it. He can come by and see himself all the time.
It's going to be a fun weekend. March 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th at the Boxborough Regency Hotel, Northeast Comic Con at necomiccons.com. And I appreciate getting the time to talk about Beasties. You can go listen to the music at beastiesrockopera.com. It's also on Spotify, Apple, and all those other weasels that steal all the money from the entertainers. But, you got to be there to play it. But on our YouTube channel, you can watch lyric videos of all of our songs that were also used in the stage show. On Facebook Live, on our Facebook page, you can actually watch the concert from October, the entire concerts on our live videos page on the Beasties Rock Opera Facebook page. Pretty groovy.
Awesome.
Very cool.
So yeah, like I usually pull you up full screen and let you do all that, but man, you just were like, woo! Oh, Sandy Netburn's in the house. Aloha, she said. We'll see you this weekend. Yeah, Jeffrey Mark, where can people interact with you on the socials?
Well, Jeffrey Mark on Facebook, Jeffrey Mark Showbiz on Instagram. I'm on Blue Sky, but I haven't quite figured out how that works yet. But, I'm with you every week. Jeffrey Mark Plays Ella is on every week where I play Ella's music and give you inside stories behind it. I'm working on books. I'm on other people's shows. Pretty much turn on your electric toothbrush. You'll find Jeffrey Mark.
Yeah, you'll come running.
Oh, you have the toothbrush with the sparkles on it. I meant
yes, of course I do. You should see my vibrator. So,
Jesus. All right, it only took an hour and 10 minutes for that.
You saved the best for last, Jeff.
I'm gonna go hide in the woods. Yeah, go to stilltoken.com. You'll find everything we need to know. We're Talking with the Dead on our Facebook page. And I'm going to go back and hide in the woods.
So,
and I want to, thank
Aw.
Gary for
Yes, me
joining
too.
us.
Me too.
It's funny when you sit down with even people that you know, and you sit down on a show like this, you get a different perspective.
right.
I'm just trying to figure out how I want to perceive this perspective that I just got from
Yeah.
Gary.
Very good. Very wise, grasshopper.
So like Jeff said, you can go to stilltoken.com. You can find out everything you want to know, from the novels to the comic books to the live action TV series to the new animation. And speaking of the new animation, it is on our YouTube channel, so you can head over there and watch it anytime you want for free. But get off your couch, come down to Northeast Comic Con collectible extravaganza this weekend. See us, see Gary, see a lot of amazing other people. I'm not going to tell you who's there. You got to go to the website, buy your tickets. You'll see who's there. To all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do so people like us can come up here and do what we do. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. We are out of here.
Aloha.